Okay, so I'm noodling. Some of you guys know okay, so I'm born in Canada, moved to the United Kingdom 20 odd years ago. Um, and there's two things I want to noodle out with you guys that I'm sitting with. So I never went to like festivals and stuff like that in Canada. It wasn't necessarily a thing. Like we'd go to fairs or music concerts, but like summer festivals weren't a thing, not in high school anyway. Some of the lucky kids would go to like summer camp. I was usually working. Um, so my introduction to like festivals was very much in the United Kingdom, and I had my like spiritual awakenings before leaving Canada, about a year and a half before I actually left Canada. And so 20 years in the UK, my first introduction was back in I think 2005, Summer of Love. I was at university over here, and I went with a friend. I think it was called Sheet Music or Sheet Music Festival, on the border of Wales, a place called Pristine. And it was fucking fun. It was really rad, and I enjoyed it. And I was like, what is this? You know, what is this camping and festivals? And I enjoyed that. And then, you know, life took a whole bunch of twists and turns, and my yoga career took off. I started to get more stable. And then back in when was the first year? I think it would have been summer 2014. I was asked to teach at a festival. And then from 2014 to pretty much last summer, I've always been invited to festivals to teach. And it's like, woohoo, fun. I usually get a free ticket plus one. So I can usually bring like a friend, and then I get to enjoy the festival for free. And I usually teach like once, maybe twice over the weekend. Hala! I knew you'd be here. So that's my experience or perception with festivals. I'm really lucky. I've never had to pay to go to a festival because I've always been teaching at them. And for the most part, enjoyed them. I gotta say, I'm thinking of 27, no, yeah, maybe not. Maybe it was 2016. I think I got back from Bali after writing my book, and I can remember going to one of the festivals I taught at, and I don't know. I don't know if the veils were thin that summer or what, but I couldn't stomach it. Like I couldn't. I was like, I was just seeing basically like all the shadows behind like the drunken fun and the frolics, and I was just like, oh my god. As in, it's like seeing people's trauma, and seeing all these like deep shadowy energies behind the like. Woo! I remember almost feeling physically ill and having to leave that festival. Anywho, so bring it to 2024, and life has stabilized enough after about 8 years of incredible turbulence, essentially navigating all of this shifting and stabilizing via myself and like very intimate, close circle of friends and trusted supporters and like comrades and stuff. And then I have this summer not been asked to teach. And I was like, oh, dang, like I want to go to a festival though. So I'm looking at festivals, and every time I get to like the checkout, I'm astounded at the price point. Like, I know this might sound absolutely like stupid, thinking, oh, you've lived in that country and you've been going to these festivals and you never knew how much they were. And I'm like, yeah, I never had to look. And I just recently left the cart of the secret garden party because it was like just to like have an experience, like have a sauna, go to the festival, camp out, all that stuff is almost 500 pounds. And there's this part of me, right, that is thinking, is that just like the norm? So people, like lots of people out there can just afford to spend 500 pounds for a party weekend? Like that, I guess that kind of amazes me. I'm genuinely kind of like, wowzers, people have a lot of disposable income, or they're all well connected and get in for free. I'm genuinely curious, especially people who live in the United Kingdom and who frequent festivals and love them and whatever. And I'm sure there's plenty of different festivals that are cheaper and whatnot, but you know, standard, you're looking at probably at least 200 pound plus food plus drink plus like just to camp in a field. But that's not true. That's not true. There's some beauty. Like sometimes the energies are amazing and there's lots of different activities. And if the weather is great, it's wonderful. And that's kind of the issue as well. Like the weather can be really shit in the United Kingdom. Okay, but this is where I'm like, why am I getting triggered? Is that all the shit that's going on in our world, and I, having experienced poverty for a fair bit of time, as in not, I wouldn't say strife poverty in that regard, because let's be real, there's that's really part of the mish, is there's so much injustice and unfairness and oppression and people who genuinely don't get to eat, and you know, so many of the issues I see us complaining about are really like privilege problems. Like they're not real problems. Like we have to get to the core, you know, we have to reconnect. Anyway, holy shit, I'm totally rambling, but what else is new? So yeah, I'm genuinely curious about like these expressions, and I'm like, I kind of feel like festivals are just this elitist way of escaping, but making ourselves feel good about it. Like, because I've been to enough to know, like, there's amazing people, and there's a lot of fringe culture, and there's a lot of counterculture, and there's a lot of, but there's still something that nigs me. I'm like, there's something inauthentic about it, or there's something that's still avoiding the real ish. But then I'm like, oh, but is that just me? I'm like, I think I just need to bite the bullet, spend the money, and go to a festival and get over it. And because see, what I'm dealing with in my own personal reality is like being able to have fun. It's like, because this is like a real silly thing, but I've never been to a festival, as far as, because as in I've never just gone for frolic. I'm Capricorn rising. I don't, it's like difficult for me to just like let loose and have a good time. And I'm like, buy them. It's like, I'll only know if I do it. If I buy the money, if I buy the ticket, purchase the ticket and go, and then have an amazing time and think, oh yeah, this is definitely worth it. But then there's a polarity around, like, because I'm so guided, maybe part of the reason I enjoyed those festivals because it was guided, because those people came to me and were like, come to this festival, teach me. I'm like, yay, it was a perfect little festival. Where if they're bigger festivals, will I have a good time, or will I just get burnt out? And maybe it's that thing of like, do I really enjoy them, or am I just being programmed to enjoy them? And are they really fun, or are we just being programmed to think they're fun? Because I see a lot of the frivolity as my own judgment, for one, but a big deal, like a big thing for me since the get-go of going to these festivals, where I was like, well, there's some beautiful energy, but we're still we're like, as all these kind of amazing, radical, colorful, wonderful people, and then the festival finishes and they just go back to the 9 to 5, or they go back to the shitty culture. But then we're talking about all this radicalism and like freedom of speech, or freedom of, you know, be, wear, do what you please, but only at a festival. And then we have to, like, I guess these sort of paradoxical aspects of our culture make me think about stuff, is that, and usually, let's be real, like, because of the level of substance abuse, I'm like, this isn't genuine, like, intentional celebration. This is escapism and shadows that look like rainbows and butterflies and sparkly people. But that's not true. Like, that's, I would say, almost like a collective imprint. It's not the truth for the individual, because like I know people that go to festivals regular. I know that the love that they're bringing and they're sharing and they're living. So I know, like, what I'm saying is not true for the individuals going to these festivals, but it's more, I would say, and not for all festivals, but it's to do with the inherent economic shadows, really, that have brought us all to the point that we're at in these times, right? It's like a permissioned binge, 100%. And like there's nothing wrong with that. Like I genuinely don't have judgment around that kind of stuff, but it's, I guess I just find it really interesting when our society is like, oh, you know, oh yes, working mama. It's like, you know, all these middle upper class people have been like, oh yes, it's very serious, and then they go to a festival and they're like, wah! You know, like completely wearing fairy wings and off their knocks, and you know, I find that as a cultural expression interesting, because I'm a bit like I'm apolitical, but I'm also like at this point I can honestly say like I'm somebody who's been guided by spirit with an intention to want to make the world a better place, and like here we are, and the guidance puts me in these situations where I'm an observer, you could say, you know, because I spend a lot of time introverted and on my own. When I do go into larger populations of things, I tend to have this like just observing human dynamic, you know what I mean? Like observing the interplay. And as somebody who's been put in the United Kingdom to live for whatever reason, I do find it fascinating. The kind of festival culture, the awareness, and then how it just kind of gets pushed into that. Like it's just this festival-y culture, and then we just forget about it and crack on with the day to day. And I know that, again, that's not like true, but why does it trigger me? You know, I elitist. That's the word that keeps coming to mind. It's elitist. But I don't. Is that right? I don't know. Because in a sense, I feel like festivals were born out of an intention of power to the people. Like I genuinely feel like that is the pure intent of most festivals, other than big corporate ones, right? Because they have to make money. That's just how a corporation works. But yeah, I'm now at this weird stage where I'm like, are they actually fun, or would I really have fun? There was one other thing I wanted to share. I'm rambling on. I sometimes wish I should make notes for these shares, because like in the moment I'm feeling like sharing, there's like such a potent blah blah, and when I come to blah blah, I'm not quite sure what I'm talking about. So festivals, I'm not sure why they trigger me. And then there was like another thing that I wanted to add to that, but I can't remember. Like the elites are slumming. Well, here's the thing though, dude. Like in the United Kingdom, bearing in mind, a lot of these festivals are held on estates, as in aristocratic estates. Like you're aware of the place that I used to teach yoga, and that I lived for a little less than a year in exchange for teaching yoga, a place called Tapley Park. Tapley Park is a manor. It's a manor home with hundreds of thousands of acres that family and that estate owns. And then close to where I live, there's another estate, and that is actually one of the first festivals I got invited to locally to teach. Yeah, they're estates that they are aristocratic families, which means inherited wealth from hundreds ages gone by, and they dominate the land. So they own the majority of the land in that area. And a lot of festivals I've noticed this year, certainly the ones I've looked at, like the Great Estate Festival, and like there was the other one, Bokonon or something, like loads of these festivals are being held at estates. Now, the estates are getting paid to host the festivals, and the punchers come and pay to go to these festivals. And again, it's really just a field party. It's a big old field party. And there was really nothing wrong, obviously, with charging and going, because people are working and paying to put them on. But I guess it's like the actual expression of the infrastructure of our societies. And when I look at like the political issues, and I look at the economic issues, and I look at, okay, yes, maybe I'm too serious, and yes, maybe I'm too much of a workaholic. But when I look at like all the disparities and issues and deep-seated issues of our culture and our societies, there's this part of me that just thinks, really, is this going to solve? Let's get together and have a party. Although I don't, maybe that's not the point, you know, that's not, there isn't the point to, although I would say, yeah, but there probably is a point. There is an aspect of that counterculture that's like, we're gonna bring it down. You know, we're gonna bring down the system. We're gonna just have a party and have a good time. So maybe I need to like really continue to work on this, and maybe I just need to go to more festivals. Maybe I just need to have more fun and get get over my resistance of having fun, or my own lack of thinking that spending £300 for a party is far too expensive. You know, but but then I resonate with the whole. I think, well, yeah, that's fun, and not everybody there is, you know, a certain way inclined, and people save money and work hard to spend money how they want to. You know, my issue is that I just think about how 400 or 500 quid could potentially have me go to Portugal for a week, you know, and surf and hang out in the sun, and I could be abroad and, you know, be chilling in like a hostel or something, surfing, maybe doing yoga, and be about the same price as like just one weekend. Plus, you know, drive time. If I'm driving 4 or 5 hours, you know damn well at the weekend that that drive time is going to be like 8 hours, and that's not fun either. So I guess it's like, what are you willing to pay for a party? And I've now pretty much answered my own question. Yes, it's resistance. I'm not, as far as like, I was hoping to find big issues, big problem. Maybe there are, maybe I'll still find them. There's going to be shadow to everything, right? But why am I getting triggered, Molly? Because you need to get over the seriousness of life and just go and have a good time, you know, like, and that, and as in I'm, it's almost like there's, because I'm not working, because I'm not teaching, I have to find a reason that festivals are problematic. It's like, no, maybe you're the problem on this occasion. Oh my God. Yes, that was the thing I wanted to. So I saw this clip. Okay, final story. I saw this clip. Oh fuck, what was it? So there's a documentary. It's like a Real Housewives sort of clip. That's the vibe it gave me. And I'm pretty sure it's on Prime. If I could share it, and if I find it, I will try to share it with you. So there's all these women sitting around a table, and they're white privileged women. And one of them was like talking about like love and light. You can't just stamp that love and light on like, and basically the one of the lines was like, white women are the most dangerous women in the world. And it was like, you know, and you're like, dang, it's but this is again, this is a part of the colonialist propagated, you know, extremist control, domination, power over structure, where supremacy, right? It's real. We can't. And I remember maybe 5 or 6 years ago at one point in my own awakening, totally having a sort of like, and going ranting on about the Love and Light Brigade of like, be careful, you know, like, yes, in a quantum essence, you could say we are pure light, but we're integrated into darkness in this realm. And there's an aspect of having to know the darkness and know our shadow and not bypass our shitty fucking emotions. And that's what spiritual bypassing is. That's the, in essence, that's what narcissism is. I don't have feelings. These are not the truths you're looking for. You know, like, this is like not wanting to take the leap into the next level of our consciousness and trying to like hide it, pretend it doesn't exist. It all gets fucked up. So pretending we're all love, pure love, when that's not the reality in the moment, as far as, oh, well, that's nice from a neutral perspective. Love is always the backbone of all of the creation, but that love doesn't take away from the present moment reality of if there is oppression and if there is injustice. And you can only play the most powerful and privileged people in the world and acknowledge that shadow of those most powerful people, because the majority of us is just human people. We're just trying to survive. That's what I mean about me going off on one with a fucking festival. I have been humbled by myself. What? I mean, okay, that's a real thing. Because I'm more financially stable, but I still think 200-300 pounds is a lot. But everything's a lot right now, isn't it? I literally got 2 bags of shopping. It cost me almost 100 pounds. And yes, okay, some of my things are a little pricier, but 2 bags of shopping. And those same 2 bags of shopping less than 4 years ago would have been like 50 or less. So we're looking at like twice the amount just for food. It's not petrol and all the other costs that we all have. So this is where it's like power to the people. We need to band together. I've had a complete radical perspective shift. See, now I get it. This is why I need to go to more festivals. We need to find the renegade masters of the lovers of the Most High. You feel me? Do you feel me? Do you feel me? No, you don't. But, well, actually you do. I'm sure this crew does. So that's my 2 cents. I might delete this share because I literally just can see it's like having a cartoon character in your brain, like just doing circles on like some toy bicycle, and you're like trying to source the thought, trying to make sense of it, and the little cartoon is just like da da da. As in, there's like a real part of my mind that's like, Molly, stop working, stop noodling for a second, just go have a good time. Yeah, but like the whole world is gonna fall apart if I just play. Or that's part of it. That's trauma for you, right? It's like the fear of not being in survival, or the fear of not locking it down. Like if I actually let loose and have a good time, my whole world is gonna fall apart. All my clients are gonna leave me. All like that's what it feels like. Or then I think, ooh, I wonder what happened. I wonder if there were moments in my childhood that I wasn't allowed to have fun, or worse, punished for it, I think a lot of us are probably in that boat. Oh, I love you, Scott. Hey, Scots. Look, it's my Scots. You guys are all amazing. Thanks for being my friend. I know. Festivals in the spirit of Burning Man, Awesomeness Fest. So I've been to Awesomeness Fest. At Awesomeness Fest, I met loads of people that went to Burning Man, and yeah, it's more about my own little thorn or stinger in my bonnet around probably not having the money to do things as a kid, and then continuing, and then finding like integrating all of this stuff around it, and coming up again to another precipice of like, let go. Oh God, I can literally feel the fear coming up of like, no. Oh my God, look, see, this is therapy. Thanks, you guys. I know it's funny because I really came on open-minded, thinking that I was gonna like resolve some deep societal issue by noodling out my trigger, but it's not at all. It's just me letting go of resistance around having fun. I know it seems like a joke, but actually the actual like pain inside, it's like, who are you to have a good time? My word. And if anyone, look, there's 4 people watching. Thanks for giving her a thumbs up, eh? It's the 2 Scotketeers. These are my old school homies, you guys. These 2 fellas have been hanging out on the internet for like at least 5 years, if not more. A crew. Obviously, Scott's a moderator. Anyway, to everyone who finds this, may it bless you. With nonsense, because I'm not here to make sense for your world. I'm here to make sense of my world, and I permission you to do the same for your world. Good luck with that. And ideally, don't stop listening to people like me. No, I think you can engage with normalcy. I would say stop engaging with the mainstream news outlets. Yeah. And I mean, if you're hanging around with people that honestly make you feel like shit, probably take some space from those people too. And this could be controversial for some people, but I'm like, and if you're broke, stop paying the debt collectors, stop paying the tax man. Just look out for yourself. Look after your back, because everything that we thought was real is changing, and all we got is one another and our hearts and our minds and our ability to like be honest. And in my life experience, 100%, when you have enough faith, people show up. Strangers on the internet are going to show up and help you live and help you buy food when you can't afford it for yourself. Like, actually, I do feel that in time. I've got a review. I've got to like, this is one I probably should edit and like write notes about, but just share the story up to this point. I was like sharing the story 5 years ago, but now I'm like, holy fuck, man. If like, as in an earnest account of a guided journey, like actually following your intuition and living by that is like, a lot of the propaganda around it wants me to be like, living intuition is going to be pure bliss, love supreme. I'm like, oh no, you're gonna end up transforming the deepest, darkest, shadowy structures of your own being. You're going to end up harmonizing and healing all of the ancestral wounds. But in that process, there's going to be multiple death and rebirths. There's likely to be people that come and go, very likely. You might have to move many times. You might have to go without having any sense of what the future is. And you're likely to go through some of the most intense, emotionally painful processes. But I'm alive to tell you that you're going to survive and get on the other side, or not. I don't know. It's up to you, I guess. And many other factors. Increasingly, I'm aware I don't have any answers other than get to know yourself, to thine own self be true, and hang out here. This is part of it, is that finally getting to that point of really trusting this community and having a real sense of loving support, right? Just incroyable. It is, isn't it? It's not the status quo in a sense. In many ways, you think, oh, it'd be easier just to be ignorant or just to step in line, right? I gotta say, like, this isn't something I normally share, but I got a treatment yesterday. My under eyes are a bit swollen. Not filler. It's not filler. But if any of you random peeps, listen, at this point, I'm like, some people are gonna unfollow. Spiritual channel talking about physical faces, like, how dare she? And I'm vain, 42 years old. Your skin, things happen to your face that when you have vanity, which a lot of us do in this culture, you pay for it. You're like, you can get rid of the darkness under there. Let's do it. Let's go. But I don't like filler. It freaks me out. Filler it changes people's faces too much, I would say. Whereas, fuckadoodles, I'm just rambling on. That's why I get triggered. I trigger myself, okay? Like, this is the conundrum of the trigger. I'm being triggered because I am looking on festival sites wanting to buy tickets. Like, I want to go do this thing, but I'm getting triggered. So I'm trying to find the problem with it. And actually, it's pretty much 100%, like, most awesome festivals are totally in alignment with Ultra Love. I just am afraid to have fun. It is well worth it to me. Personally, I think it's like the only way. It's the only way to actually heal all this shit that we're in. Because the rules aren't outside of self. That's the end of the Piscean age, right? Like, we're not look at our world governments right now. Like, honestly, we're not gonna follow those people. Like, they don't care. I don't think. There's all this other, like, when you get to know yourself, like, get to know your own mind and your own energies and drive, and there'll be a very deep understanding why those people can't help you, right? Like, they don't have the understanding or the inherent power, because a lot of the power these people hold, that's part of the illusion. And the reason they have to use such force actually probably would show us how deeply insecure and powerless they actually feel. Because I think a lot of us here, I would rather stand in the light of my awareness and die than join in on that level of corruption. Stand in the power of innocence and stand for the people of this planet that we all get to deserve to live. Like, I don't, and I think that's kind of the energies we're in. It's ride or die, baby. I'd like to get rid of the ever-present. One, I'll give you natural. I'll give you natural, and then I'll give you injectable. Okay, so natural cucumber, really, really thinly sliced cucumber. Put her on there, babe. Send a picture of yourself with the cucumbers. So, I'm out of cucumber. Oh, did they send me any cucumber? No, they did not. So I'm out of cucumber, and I'll let you know how this, I literally just had it done yesterday. It's something called Lumi Eyes. And when I saw it being done to someone, I was like, I know, I'm freaking out. But actually, other than a little swelling, a little bit of redness, it's I we'll see how the actual, I mean, I've got makeup on, so you can't really see, but yeah, it's called Lumi Eyes. I don't think it's gonna, you know, whatever. I'm just grateful for it all. I'm grateful that we can try. Hey, what up, legendary Deonasame? It's funny when I try to say names. It's like somebody was talking about, somebody was ripping apart some female celebrities because they sell beauty products, but they also smoke. And like the way people ripped into them, like horrible, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. Like, we don't expect our doctors are like, my family doctor growing up was a smoker, and I'm pretty sure he's still a smoker. I'm like, we don't like just the harshness and contempt of our society boggles my mind. So I'm like, so because somebody's a smoker, they don't have the right to talk about wellness? It's weird to me. It's weird to me how harsh we are. And I'm, you know, I'm a little bit protective of, all right, you know, people talk about they want the right to eat this and do that and drink this and da-da-da, and yet, anyway. Hey, ha, Lumi, L-U-M-I, as in I. Lumi Eyes, my sister uses it. Oh, really? As in cucumber or Lumi Eyes? Okay, so it's new to me. And I'm kind of excited about it because that's my trouble spot. That's my trouble spot. Oh God, the lingo of fucking the vanity of our shitty culture. Just, and I'm right there. I'm in it. What a conundrum. How do you know all of the shits of your own awareness? Like how, it's like you're knowing yourself too well and you see the shadow and the light and you're just like, oh God, I guess I just have to accept it all. Which, you know, having good people in your life makes a big difference. Holla. I'll leave it there, you guys. And that, I'm talking about you all listening to me rant on about my face and festivals. That was the serious bit. Remember festivals, which basically came to the revelatory insight that I just need to have more fun and get over it. See, every time I say that, I'm like, no, I just want to work. God, Jesus. I'm gonna make you an intro, do some editing for you to use if you want. What? I'm down with that. Holla. It's all about love. Let's sing and be frolicking in the fields together. Somehow we'll just find the resources we need to do it, because I think the earth wants that. I think that's what she's asking. I think she's wanting us to just root and have fun. Make our own. Let's do our own. That's where it's at. Actually, that's where it's all at. I just am gonna just get my roots, make all the money, bring all the people, and have an infinite, endless party. But also grow food and like look after ourselves and one another and like be peaceful, but also have vibratory and fun, and like work with all the addictions that we're all gonna continue to have, but try to elevate them and try to focus on more fun and more elevation and more love and more healing, so that eventually all those attachments can continue to fall away, and so we're not carrying all the shame and the judgment and the fear anymore. And the more we can just stand in the power of our truth, really truly, I think the more we can shine the projection of what we truly desire here, rather than the old projections of the old paradigm, which was like fear and control. And you know, keep praying for the whole to keep elevating into these higher realms. That's me. I'm gonna go to a festival, maybe. Probably not, but we're gonna work up to it. Give it time, maybe next year, you guys. Okay, I'll keep you posted though. I'll keep you in the loop. Remember 5 years ago, I actually did a post from the back of my car at a festival talking about how tired I was. You know, teetotal at a festival Sunday morning. I'm like, I can't deal with the energies. I'm pretty sure a bunch of you were there. I'm gonna try to find that video, but probably not today because I've got too many sessions. Off we go, on to the next sesh. I love you guys. Look after yourselves. Have a great day. Happy flooring. Are you nearly done that, Scott? Anyway, we'll chat more. Holla, holla, holla.